Hello everyone, this is Psychosity here. I've been running TOAH hard races recently and I did well last month, so I just wanted to give everyone a little bit of a rundown on what I do and share some knowledge about my experience. So the first thing is to understand a little bit about how TOAH rotations work and what floors to expect which monsters on. So just Google the wiki and you'll come up with this page, and it will show you some basic information about the different rotations. So we have the Ath'taros rotation and we also have the Lyrith rotation. Last month we had Lyrith as the TOAH hard boss, so we'll just have a quick look at the bosses we had on each floor for that. So here we've got all of the past rotations, it's pretty well documented. You can have a look through that, but it doesn't give you much indication of what's coming next. But what we can see here, based on the boss for each 10th floor, we'll be able to identify what monsters on each wave we can expect for each particular floor. So the important ones to have a look at is the second floor of the Viramos rotation and the Artemiel rotation. The 9th floor of that one on the second wave. So this is where we've got our first trouble monster, because he puts up that invincibility as soon as you glance on him. So we just need to take in a different team against him. So usually when I'm running, I'll quickly have a look in here and see which floors he is on. And the only other one you want to have a look at is the Jamire's rotation to find where Akroma is. That one's usually pretty obvious because it's on the third wave, so you know which floor it is when you get to it, but we just take a different monster into that one as well. So as soon as it starts up, I just have a quick flick through and see which bosses we've got on which levels. So they do rotate. The floors 91 to 100 are always the same, but the 1 to 30 and 31 to 90 do rotate. So we see Vero is on 50 and Artemiel is on 60. So that means we want to have a look at floor number 42. And I'll just show you a quick example of the team I've got here. Pretty much use the same Cleave team all the way through. But you'll notice I've got Tesarion. Tesarion's pretty much how I handle these guys, because he puts the Oblivion on them so that the invincibility doesn't come up. Sometimes it can get lucky and just one-shot them straight away. That's the ideal situation. This isn't a very high level, so there we go. Nice and easy. Pretty much one-shotting them. And just clearing the rest of the wave. You could pretty much put this on auto. This team's relatively reliable, but just a little bit faster if we're manualing it. Just put Oblivion on these guys as well. Or I can reset their skills with Zaros. So that one's pretty straightforward, and then the other one, the second wave of the 9th floor of Artemiel, who is on 60, so that should be floor number 59. Same team again, it's pretty straightforward. So nice and easy through the trash wave. And here they are. I would usually like to have the first skill of Zyros available when I get here. Probably shouldn't have used the multi-hit. Right, they've both got Oblivion now, so pretty straightforward from here on. These guys can cause a little bit of trouble sometimes if I haven't got Oblivion on them straight up. And if I lose a monster, it doesn't really matter anyway. I've still got more than enough to finish this wave. Yeah, as long as you Oblivion these guys, then they don't really cause any trouble for you. So this is pretty much worst case scenario for this stage. And see, it's still easy to finish. Just having a quick look at Tessa's runes. Fast, tanky, bit of accuracy. Not too difficult. Nice to have Violent on him, and Revenge is helpful too. Alright, and Jamire. So the Akroma stage, basically we just swap out Tessa for Garo. So there's probably a lot of easier ways to do this stage in a faster time, but what I like about this is I can just set it to auto and I've got zero chance of losing with Garo on the team. Because of his passive, as soon as they attack him, he's got such low HP that he pretty much gets a turn back straight away. It's a nice little cheese method, and it doesn't take too long, so I find it reliable enough to finish this stage. When you're rushing, it's nice to have the reliability of being able to finish, because as soon as you start failing attempts during a rush, then other people are just going to overtake you, and you just fall back down in the ranks and you don't have a chance of winning. I'm not sure if Garo in place of Rika is the best choice. I could swap out Lagmaron instead for a little bit more reliability with the dots as a backup. The general idea of this team, and there's a lot of variations for it, but the general idea is to have a hybrid between dotting and nuking. So that if I don't kill them in one go with the nuke, then I've got the dots as a backup to finish them off. Full damage strategy is great for normal TOA, but with TOA hard, unless you've got exceptionally good runes, then it's slightly risky. So I can just auto the rest of this, pretty straightforward. Just focus one of them. Normally they just kill the rest of the units in Garo just solos. There's one other stage where we have this guy come up as well, so Akroma also comes up when you're doing the Ath'taros rotation on Halphas, the Halphas boss. Floor 8, wave 3. And for Halphas, so I can't show you a proper example, but the basic idea here is just to swap out Galleon for Bastet. So Bastet's a fantastic counter to Halphas because she's got the shield, and his passive basically doesn't give him any life if your monsters have shield on them, and Bastet's also got the heal block, so that if his passive is triggered, then he's not actually gaining any life. So you get him below half HP, and with either of those two, you'll be able to take him out. So Bastet's a great choice here. This is only stage 40 of normal, so it's not a great example. He wasn't in the TOAH hard rotation this month, but this is the team that I use anyway. It's very fast, very low chance of failure. And this is one more stage where people have trouble. I don't actually change anything with this stage, so I just use my normal Cleave team here. When I was rushing this month, someone actually, I think it was 2 people that were in front of me by the time I got to this stage, because they'd already passed stage 90 and I was only on around 85, so yeah, this stage usually causes a lot of trouble for people, and if there's going to be a stage that'll stop you from winning, it's going to be this one. So as I said, what's great about this team is the hybrid between doing a ton of damage and also having the dots. And what I find is key to this stage is the dots. So I've got Xyros that adds dots, Rika that adds dots, and then the water homunculus. His third skill is don't know the specific name of the passive, but it's the one that adds a dot for each dot that they've already got. So if you've got 5 dots on them, and then he moves, then they'll have up to 10 dots on them, which means they take 2 turns and they're dead. Now he doesn't have will on him, which is a risk if Leo decides to attack him. Okay, thankfully he's attacked Galleon, which is good. I usually like to use Xyros's third skill just to stop these guys from doing Torrent. That's okay, he's gone. Stun them up, dot them up. Third move here, and they're just full of dots. There's just no way I can lose at this stage. Try and get rid of the Leo. Another stun, nice and easy. So very, very quick and very effective. It can lose, so it's not perfect, but I find most of the time I get through that stage pretty fast. So early on, pretty much stage 1 to around stage 50, I just use this team. So these 3 make it a super, super fast clear of the waves on auto. So I can pretty much do whatever I want while I'm watching these guys. Basic idea, Lapis has the attack leader skill, so I get a little bit of extra damage, and I just put as much damage as possible on Lapis, and the water homunculus has a damage build, a little bit of sustain, but the main idea is to have damage. And yep, pretty fast. So this is stage 21. Alright, stage 31, just a few more examples. This Raoq is not built specifically for TOAH. I just use him for siege defense. Just fast with a damage build. So I've seen other people using this in races on TOAH normal, and the manual double illusion teams are actually a lot faster. But again, it's just a convenience factor. I don't have to worry about anything while I'm running this team. I can just sit back and let it auto through the first 40 to 50 stages. It's around this point, around stage 41, that I'll consider changing over. Sometimes it'll get up to 50, into the 50s before I'm at risk of failing. Obviously, it's more likely to happen against wind monsters. But still nice and easy autoing through stage 41 here. That's a pretty fast clear. So you can see the runes, they're just damage build. This is not a high priority monster either. I mean, Lapis is pretty far down on my priority list, so she's really just got leftover runes. And then for everything else, including the boss stages, this is the core team. So you've got a lot of different options here. I think Galleon is key. He's got the defense break, attack buff, AoE combination, which is crucial for supporting my attack monsters. So he's the first to move. And the order after that is not extremely important. So I have Xyros moving second. It's a nice easy combo to just use Xyros's third and then Lagmaron's third. That's usually enough to clear the first wave. Then with their resets on the second wave, I'll be able to single hit a target with Galleon. Xyros will use his second skill to apply some dots. Lagmaron can squelch a single monster. So I'll usually use Galleon's first skill to single hit a monster that gives him the advantage, and then it'll be dots from there on with Rika and the Water Homunculus. On this guy, you want to try and keep him defense broken. He's a defense scaling monster, so if you've got him defense broken, he's going to do a lot less damage to you. These guys are all countering, so the basic idea here is really just to keep them stunned as much as possible, but even stage 60 of TOAH hard, just straight boss. There's no need to worry about these guys on the side. Got enough control with this team that usually be able to dot them up or stun them and be able to just go straight for that boss. So Lagmaron packs a pretty hefty punch there. So lost a few monsters, but still a pretty straightforward run. So there's a lot of alternatives. I think Xyros is key here because of his dots. If you're combining that on the second wave with Rika and Water Homunculus, or his skill 3 to reset everyone's skills, it adds a little bit of safety, and he does a ton of damage. As I said, Galleon, I feel he's key. Rika is a fantastic monster to have, but you could replace with anyone who's applying a ton of dots. Lagmaron, he's really here just to do a lot of damage. Nice for that single target squelch, or the third skill which does AoE damage and has a good chance to stun. The Water Homunculus is a really good pick, and anyone can grab him. But you can get some other AoE defense breakers like the Hell Ladies. So Ethna, Raki, Beth are all good choices. Lagmaron can be replaced by TOAH, and I do use TOAH for some stages in TOAH hard as well. So at TOA 80, just manualing at this point. It's much faster and much safer to be manualing from here on. If they derp, you've got a high chance of failing, so don't want to risk that in a race. Stun if you can, dot if you can, but again, just going straight boss here. Okay, nice and easy. And TOA 90 this month is Chiwu, so this is a good opportunity to switch out Lagmaron for TOA to make sure we've got the elemental advantage on him. It's just going to be another nuke down, so having the elemental advantage really helps. Lagmaron is not really going to do anything against TOA. This is where Xyros really shines. You want to make sure that these ones are reset, otherwise this floor takes a lot longer. Oh, that's close. It's okay. Alright, so normally I'd like to have Xyros' third skill up by the time I get to this stage, so just go slowly on the last couple of monsters on the previous one so that I can make sure that there's no buffs added. The defense break is really, the defense buff is really annoying, it just takes a lot longer. The attack by pushback is pretty nice. Just saved Ath'taros. And nice and easy. TOAH hard 90. Alright, so the final stage, and we have a Lyrith rotation for TOAH hard this month. I basically just use water twins. This team is so reliable that you can actually just auto it. It's going to finish in 3 to 5 minutes, so pretty fast. There are some better alternatives. I don't have the Nat 5s needed for it, but yeah, the Water Twins team is fantastic for this. Basically locking down the boss so that they just never get a turn with the Loren Verd combo. A little bit of sustain. These guys are all built with a little bit of tankiness, so they can take a couple of hits and they'll still be fine. So this is just TOA normal here. It's the same team for both rotations anyway, but just to show you as an example. And then for TOA hard, we will auto again. Fran by herself is enough sustain to be able to keep everyone alive. On the Ath'taros rotation, if anyone's at risk of dying, then you can just attack a tower. And you generally like to control the right hand tower a little bit, because that does give the boss a turn straight away. So I usually just keep an eye on that, but it's generally just straight boss. And as soon as you've got him past 50% HP, the Water Twins just do so much damage. He's down in a couple of hits. So these Water Twins are not built specifically for this. I used to run a Twins team for full TOA auto before they got nerfed, but this is just the builds that I have for Kairos Dungeon. They're pretty slow, a lot of damage. The Verdehile gives them enough attack bar boost that it's perfectly fine for TOA hard. And you'll notice Loren's pretty fast as well, so she's just another siege defense monster. So the revenge can hurt, but it's still perfectly fine if you've got the revenge monster as the middle one. We'll take that one out first anyway. The water twins just focused her. But it's good to get that one out of the way. It's actually a good idea just to get rid of this other monster on the side, since we've got the blue one as the main one. Pretty high defense, and it's just going to take a while to work it down. I don't think we'll be able to sustain all of these hits from the green one here. Yeah, so we'll just go with the green one first. So with the Lyrith rotation, that's really the only consideration, just getting rid of, well, it depends which order they split out on and which one stays in the middle. You don't really have much control over that, it's a bit of a gamble. This one is going to take a little bit longer, just because the blue one is so tanky, but still, take out the red one and the green one, and this one just doesn't get a turn. Fully locked down, and you can just leave this, it'll just run for another minute or two. It's a nice easy TOA hard auto. So that's pretty much it. Doing a little bit more damage now that she's past halfway. But it's nice and easy, just on auto, all the way through. So the first half of the TOA hard run, you're just on auto, and the second half, start manualing some stages, but just cleaving all the way through. And typically a rush will take about 3 hours. Her first place is usually just under that, it's somewhere between 2.5 and 3 hours. As opposed to the TOA normal runs, which are done in less than an hour. I'll just show you the runes I've got on these guys after this run. Nice and easy, one more hit. There we go. That is TOA hard on order. Okay, so Fran, reasonably tanky, reasonably fast. A little bit of attack on there. Loren, yeah, just a build for siege defense. Verdehile, reasonably fast, swift revenge. And Sabrina and Talia just on Raid Shield. And that's it. That is how to rush TOA hard. So good luck everyone, see you all in the next video.